back in the day, the students of knowledge had three levels of studying. The first one is as-sama' al-mubashir, immediately learning from a sheikh. Those who are attending, that's sama' al-mubashir. That's the best. The reward in itself for that is immense. Then you got the next one is al-wasita, between you and the sheikh is a mediator. So if one of you goes and conveys this whole message to another person, that's wasita. You were the mediator between me and that person you taught. Some used to do that, especially businessmen or farmers. They used to do that. They would take turns in learning and teaching each other. The third one is wijada. Wijada is to find a book written by a sheikh and study it from it. Now, where does learning from, for example, from a sheikh on YouTube come in? In my opinion, it's higher than number two. It's a little bit higher than number two because you're not learning through a mediator. You're learning from the sheikh, but you're learning possibly through the internet. And it's definitely not wijada. It's not taking a book and studying from it. So it's really between the number one and number two. Through the internet, one can even interact these days through emails, or he can call the sheikh that he's learning from. So in reality, it's become a notch under as-sama' al-mubashir. That's not to minimize going to a sheikh. One should not resort to wijada or wasita or any other mean if he can find a direct sheikh. If you find the righteous sheikh you're able to, and he's in the end of the world, you pack your bags and go if you're able to go and learn from him. If Allah blesses us in the future, we can accommodate. We would love for everyone, inshallah, to join us. Learning from a sheikh in person has its benefits also, like you see his private life, you see his manners, you see his attitude, you see his ibadah, you see how he reacts to things. My father, Jazallah khair, outside of the regular Medina curriculum, when he sent me, he made sure to contact the major shuyukh of our time, many of them who are dead, and made sure that I study with them. The last one, for example, was Sheikh Muqbil that he wanted me to go attend, and I always used to make dua to learn from him. But I wasn't able to go to Yemen, in Sa'da. He was kicked out of Saudi in the late 70s, and I wasn't able to go to Yemen. So subhanallah, in the year 2000, he came to Los Angeles, California to get medical treatment. I immediately headed there and stayed with him in his house. Then suddenly in the middle of the treatment, it was Dhul Hijjah, so he decided to go to Mecca, make Hajj, and return. And when he went to Mecca, an article broke out in California, some newspaper, that Sheikh Muqbil, who's a radical, who's this and that, is in United States, how they let him in. So immediately the embassy in Saudi revoked his visa. And I say, inshallah, that was possibly from my dua, because right after, a few weeks later, he died, rahmatullahi alayh. So I think, inshallah, I always think of it and say, alhamdulillah, it might have been my dua that he came all the way from Yemen to LA for medical treatment. I learned from him, then he went back, and shortly thereafter he died. So if you can pursue a reputable, righteous sheikh who fears Allah and is not a low-life, deluded, sellout modernist, or promoter for the kufr or kuffar, or those who work for governments, if you can find that, then surely go ahead and learn from him and follow him even if he's in the end of the globe. Salaf used to consider a negative characteristic for one to study from books alone. That is considered negative, because they said, "Man kana shaykhuhu kitabu, kana khata'uhu akthar min sawabi." If your sheikh is your book, your mistakes are more than your correctness. When Sheikh ibn Uthaymeen was asked about one who studies through audio tape, he encouraged it, but he said learning direct is better because you can discuss and ask. So that factor that he said it's better because you can discuss and act, you can apply that today, because you can ask us, you can email us, and you can call us by phone and ask. We most likely will not do pal talk, so you can call in through email and ask. And those who are in the classical study with us will get precedent in answering their questions, inshallah ta'ala.
Allah, Allah, you are my Lord. I bow to you. Allah, Allah, you are my Lord. I bow to you. Allah, Allah, you are my Lord. I bow to you. Allah, Allah, you are my Lord.